The Honorable War, taking down Antifa with principles, ethics, and honesty. This is war. And it's they who dragged us into this. But I'm going to fight this war on my own terms, with principles and with ethics. I won't try to kill you. I won't hit you over the head with a bike lock. I won't lie about you. I will simply tell the truth about you, and prove it. That's all it takes to damn you, to ruin your relationships, to get you expelled, fired, to prevent people from hiring you, dating you, being your friend, renting an apartment to you, or giving you spare change on the streets when you are jobless and homeless and have no friends. Because that's what will happen to you if you do not stop doing what you do. I don't know if you know this, folks, but recently Tim Pool did a video with Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change, and both of them were talking about how, even despite the fact that they have earned credibility, even gotten awards for being good, fair, objective journalists, even though that they have spent time with Occupy Wall Street protesters, in the case of Tim Pool, even sleeping on these people's couches and using their showers, but otherwise sleeping on the streets and tents with these people for months on end. Despite this fact, people like Antifa, BAMN, and even the mainstream media call them, well, fascists, racists, neo-Nazis, alt-righters, etc. Even mainstream media calling Tim Pool alt-right, when he is moderate left and anti-authoritarian, which makes him the opposite quadrant diagonally as an alt-righter. And you folks may know that Luke Rudkowski recently has had urine thrown at him by Antifa because he was standing next to somebody who actually is right-wing, but he's a journalist. He had a camera and he's filming, and they threw urine on this guy.
Hold on, what about acid?
Oh yes, right. In Sacramento, Antifa or BAMN threw bottles of acid last summer. So that's really freaking serious, and if people are throwing bottles of acid and other people are supporting that, those people should be outed. Also, I almost forgot to mention the fact that Antifa has brought weapons, and increasingly more dangerous weapons, to these rallies. So knives, clubs, big metal things to hit people over the head with, bottles of urine, and maybe explosives. They put explosives in bottles and then threw those bottles indiscriminately into crowds. And then, as we've seen in some of my more recent videos, they are now bringing guns to rallies. Guns, okay? These people must be stopped. I don't know if you folks have seen the recent video, the yet another interview with Tim Pool on the Rubin Report. Both of them are talking about how, even though they're left-wing, mainstream media is calling them alt-right. Both of them. And in a lot of cases, not just Antifa idiots, not just BAMN idiots, but mainstream media is calling these guys alt-right simply because some of the people they interview are right-wing.
Oh, and Lacey Green. You forgot Lacey Green's another example.
Oh yeah, right, Durr, how can I forget that? So yeah, Lacey Green's another one. If you don't 110% agree with everything, then all of a sudden you're the exact opposite of us. You're the enemy, you're the outgroup, you're the devil, you're the Satan.
Evil, quick, get them, they think for themselves.
Yes. Witch, burn her! Yeah, so it's basically a Puritan, it's like a Puritan yelling, heretic! And by the way, heresy means choice. So, okay, let's break this down. They're doing the job that the media should be doing, and is not doing. And because they're doing the job that the media should be doing and is not doing, and because the mainstream media knows this, okay, they're trying to demonize these people. They're saying, well, because you actually listened to what a right-winger had to say, you're a Nazi! Or in the case of the mainstream media, you're an alt-righter now. Simply for trying to understand. So in other words, if you don't practice willful ignorance, well then you're an alt-righter. And then what's going to happen then? So, okay, let's see. You call moderate left-wingers alt-righters, and you say, well, you're an alt-righter because you talk to them. So now people are not going to talk to that moderate left-winger because now they're an alt-righter. Okay? And so that drives everybody further and further and further in your mind to the alt-right. When merely, you're just calling everybody who doesn't agree with your extremely narrow and intolerant view alt-right. Or, if you're a fucking moron like Antifa and BAMN people, well then no, fascist, racist, KKK, Nazi, or whatever. If you, even a Hollywood celebrity will say, get out there and punch some people in the face, and everybody will fucking clap for it. It's disgusting. In the description below are some links to some videos by Very Fake News, which is a lot more real than the quote-unquote news. Also, Ty Decker, that's this guy.
The jokes are that people who are part of Antifa are young kids who don't understand the civil rights that they're trampling on are the ones that they think that they're protecting. That's why. And when they get outside the basement and they figure out that there are parents before them that had their parents sacrifice their lives, then you'll understand that wearing a black mask and dressing like ISIS is ISIS. But I'm sorry, is there an idea that I didn't say that wasn't accurate?
He has a YouTube channel by the same name where he shows this as well, see the link below. So I'm talking about the people who showed up for the press briefing with Dan Siegel, the lawyer of Eric Clanton. You know, the people that you could see in our videos about Dan Siegel owned repeatedly and etc., the other videos. Well, their photos were taken by the Antifa or BAMN spies without their permission, and then these photos were distributed around town, hung up even right outside the courthouse. You know, it was basically a threat, like, hey, here's who you need to beat up, people, right here. These are the alt-right Nazis that you need to beat up. And it's okay. It's perceived to be okay. It's normalized. There are college campuses where it is normal to see basically wanted posters of students, even students of color, disabled people, immigrant students, etc. Basically, here's the Nazi face that you need to punch, so if you see this face, punch it, they're a Nazi. Never mind the fact that they're not even white in a lot of cases. In fact, I have a video about just that, called Targeted: Intolerance and Intimidation from the Far Left Against Free Speech, for which there is a link in the video description below. It's normal to see that. And many college campuses are not sticking up for justice. Take the Evergreen State College, for example. This guy right here, I forget his name, there it is on the screen. I'm sure I'll put his name on the screen right now. This guy right here, another person, a Jewish person, so he's not even white, being called racist and etc. simply because he refused to be racially segregated by an angry lynch mob. He's another one who's branded a right-winger despite an impeccable record of being way to the left, okay? They're they're normalizing violence against what they call alt-righters or right-wingers or Republicans, okay? What they call right-wingers, alt-righters, Republicans, which very often is not accurate. And then they say it's okay to punch these people. And what are the consequences of this? I mean, okay, you got Huffington Post making excuses for justifying this sort of violence. Other media outlets justifying this sort of violence. Celebrities justifying this sort of violence.
We will hunt monsters!
Yes, I am outraged.
We will hunt monsters!
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about
Blowing up the White House.
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about
Blowing up the White House.
Punch, 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 destroy,
With joy! With joy! Punch, punch people! With joy!
Even some fucking politicians justifying this violence. So after the riot in Berkeley in February where people were nearly beaten to death, okay, we have that one politician. I thought it was a beautiful sight.
And so as we encourage our young people to get involved, I thought it was a beautiful sight.
She was talking about this riot. Think about that, folks. Here we have a U.S. politician praising assaults of innocent people.
I thought it was a beautiful sight.
Okay? Mayor Jesse Aragoon making excuses for the fact that he told the fucking police, or there was some sort of rigmarole. It's all super secret. It's an unwritten policy as to who's the fucking authority, but you could count on it being a meeting between the mayor, the city council member, and the chief of police. So between the three of them, they decided they were going to fucking let people be beat almost to fucking death in front of the fucking police in Berkeley. Multiple fucking times. This woman right here, her name is Katrina. Katrina discussed this attack with Stefan Molyneux.
And we started chanting Blue Lives Matter, and the police gave us a thumbs up, you know, and they kind of waved to us, and they were like, yeah, you know, and then we needed them in a situation where, you know, weapons are banned. You're not allowed to defend yourself in California in general, but certainly not on a UC campus, not in the city of Berkeley. And they just left us there.
A lot of people don't understand this, or they don't know it, or they know it, but they can't believe it. The police let people be beat severely and refuse to let them get to safety. Listen to this.
The police were all inside the building. So they were inside this glass enclosed building looking out at all of the mayhem, not intervening at all. The legal aid person who was trying to help me banged on the glass with me, and we were begging the police to let her and me in so that I could wash the pepper spray out of my eyes, and they wouldn't unlock the building. So all I could do was sit down on the ground and keep asking someone to try and find my husband, because honestly, I thought he was dead. And, you know, we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened to him because he doesn't remember. They were worried for a while that he might have had a bleed in his liver from the beating that he sustained. He turned out to only have a couple of broken ribs. He also has a serious concussion, pretty much going to be bedridden for a little while here while he recovers. To kind of put a little more context on that, both of us actually wore Kevlar vests to the event. So he got beaten so badly that his ribs were broken through a Kevlar vest.
And I wonder if the rioters knew ahead of time if there was any kind of stand-down order, knowing that they could do what they wanted to do without any interference from the people who basically say, yeah, you don't need any weapons because we'll protect you.
Or even if they didn't know that, they probably figured it out when at 5 o'clock they told them to disperse and then didn't do anything to enforce that order.
Right.
Right? So this was many hours of, certainly the police kind of maybe seeming like they're going to do something and not doing it. I can imagine how that might create some encouragement for those people. You know, I hear there's one guy who was beaten in the street even after he was down already unconscious, and there were early reports saying that maybe he was actually dead. I haven't heard what happened to him yet, but if you're that guy, I mean, you gotta hope at least someone's got a camera on it and it makes some difference in the world, because otherwise, you know, it's just a sad way to end your life.
Okay, so fuck those police. The police are not going to help us, so we have to protect ourselves. We have to go after Antifa ourselves, because of the fucking police and the politicians who do not give a shit. Just to give you an idea, the mayor of Berkeley, after people were severely beaten, he was not sorry at all. His excuse was, oh yes, well, if we let the police actually save people from being severely beaten, well then...
would have incited a more violent reaction from this small group of people.
Bull fucking shit. Okay? Why are these people not dragged out of their fucking offices and dragged straight into fucking court? Why are they now driven out of their offices with torches and pitchforks? Why? So we live in a social climate now where these people are calling anybody that is not extreme, far left, authoritarian, fucking communist, postmodernist trash, alt-right, fascist, neo-Nazi, KKK, saying it's okay. And these are not just radicals that are saying it's okay, it's mainstream to say it's okay to punch people who are accused of being Nazis. And most of the time they aren't anything of the sort. Very often they're not even fucking right-wing. But that's the social climate we live in. So this is fucking war, okay? It's war. But I'm going to fight this war on my own terms, with principles and ethics, which makes me far superior to you, Antifa, to you, BAMN, to you, Hollywood, to you, all you politicians who are letting this happen, to you, the mainstream media who allows this to happen, or who justify it and fucking lie about it, too. Can't tell you how many times I've seen video of somebody getting beat up, then seen that person being interviewed by the alternative media, saying, yeah, this happened, but a reporter watched it happen and then misreported it on purpose.
She didn't really get it in the face, it kind of missed her. And then she ran off. And then the cameraman and the guy interviewing us had the gall to yell at us for being violent.
At you?
And had absolutely no sympathy whatsoever for what had just happened.
It's happened so many times. So you too are the enemy, mainstream media, okay? As long as you're the dishonest media, CNN, Huffington Post, etc., doing this kind of shit. Okay? This is war on all of you. Okay? There are consequences to all of this. And those consequences lead up to things like the bike lock attacker, allegedly Eric Clanton, hitting people over the head with a heavy-duty bike lock. Multiple people, I don't know, what is it, 5 or 7 of them, something like that, considered to be attempted murder because it's possible to kill somebody that way, very easily. Okay, if this man wasn't such a limp-wristed, inferior specimen of a man, he could have killed those people. Okay, if he wasn't such a fucking pussy, if he was a real warrior, okay, if he was really strong and brave, he could have killed somebody. Another consequence is what? James T. Hodgkinson.
James T. Hodgkinson, the man who picked up a gun and shot people for being Republican, is a fan of an author at Mother Jones who wrote an article in which he said that Dave Rubin was further to the right than Breitbart. If you want, you can hear Dave Rubin talk about it himself in the first few minutes of this video right here. Peter Boghossian and Dave Rubin on Postmodernism and Bad Journalism full interview. Scroll down, click the link for that. What I'm saying is that this goes hand in hand. When the media goes out there and lies about people and say they're far right, they're alt-right, they're neo-Nazis, etc., other people go out and commit violence because of that. The media is complicit. They are guilty. So, fuck that author. Out him. And out Mother Jones.
So there are real consequences to this social environment being created from all the way from Antifa to the fucking mainstream news. And everywhere in between. There are consequences. You're getting people nearly killed. Okay? And I think before the summer is over, one of these left-wingers is going to kill somebody else. And we're going to find out, although they're going to try to cover it up, that he was into Antifa, he was into BAMN, read the Huffington Post, watched CNN, and all that sort of thing. So he's living in this social environment where it's encouraged, let alone sanctioned. Socially sanctioned. And so because there are consequences to the people that you label as alt-right, neo-Nazi, KKK, whatever, there are consequences for you doing that. Like I said, this is war, and you will lose. We need to shift the Overton window. In other words, we need to shift what is acceptable in the public and in the media from what it is now to something that is based on good principles, ethics, personal integrity, responsibility, and honor. Also, love, not hate. All these people out there saying hate speech, they are so hateful. Right now, the Overton window is just overlapping a realm of hate. We need to push it back, people. We need to make it unacceptable to be hateful, to call everybody Nazis, to say it's okay to call everybody that you disagree with a Nazi and to punch them in the face. We need to get back to good principles, good ethics, honor, personal integrity, responsibility, and we need to practice love, not hate. Love. Tough love. Sometimes very tough love, but not hatred. So as I've mentioned in a few of my recent videos, Tabitha long ago, before it became big news that Poll 4chan was doing the following, Tabitha was doing the following. She would go on social media, see these people who are, pretty much their profiles scream, I'm with Antifa, or BAMN, or go to the profiles of people like Yvette Falarka, the mayor of Berkeley, city council members and stuff like that, and Tabitha, before it made news, Tabitha found out the mayor of Berkeley was a member of BAMN for a while there. Well, online he was for a while there. In real life, he still is. I would bet my left arm. Same thing with city councilmen and other people like that. Okay? So, Tabitha has found lots of people
on social media who just pretty much flat out say, I like Antifa, I think it's okay to call somebody a Nazi and then attack them, and etc. And I can't really explain to you all the techniques that Tabitha used because, you know, some of it's beyond me, but she has means of finding these people. She was very, very good at it. Now, at the same time, I'm trying to catch up and archive all of this because I see the proof, but we all know that people could change their profiles at any point in time, so it's good to archive these things. It's a snapshot, they don't lie, it's there forever. It's a lot of work, and if I were to do it for everybody that Tabitha has found, I would never be able to do anything but that. But this is at least one way how we can fight this war. Find these people who are actually supporting Antifa and BAMN, especially politicians, you know, hit these big people, okay? Celebrities, people in the media especially, and definitely look into all these authors who are doing things like, say, calling Dave Rubin alt-right, okay? Find these people, go on their social media, and if they do support Antifa and BAMN and stuff like that, archive it, and I'll show you how later. This just in, a correction. Rather than putting it at the end of this video, I'm going to make a separate video titled, Fighting Antifa from the Comfort of Your Own Home. Okay, so please scroll down, click the link for that video, and get involved. Put the information out there, all over the place. Join, if you're not already a member, join different discussion groups on social media sites. Things having to do with politics and etc. Hit these people where it hurts. Send the information to their parents. Send the information to their employees. Okay? It's not doxing if they publicly put it out there. They just think, well, nobody's going to really care because I live in a social environment where nobody really cares outside of my little bubble. Oh, wait, that's right. My parents are outside my bubble, and so is my boss. Oh, shoot. Well, they don't count on, you know, a lot of people go through life and their parents don't look at their freaking Facebook and their boss doesn't give a shit about their Twitter. But they would if they knew that their kid or their employee was supporting domestic fucking terrorism, that they belong to or support a group that will just point the finger at anybody and try to ruin them. That person's a Nazi right there, that's it, because I say so. Because that's my teacher who gave me a bad grade last week. Because that's my boss who wouldn't let me have Saturday off. Because it's my dad and I'm mad at him. Okay? They can do it to anybody, and they've proven over and over and over again that they will do it to anybody. They don't have to be a Nazi, right-wing, or anything of the fucking sort. Okay? These people are caustic. Alright? They are cancer cells in the social body. They must be extracted. They must be expelled. They must be fired. Okay? They must be broken up with by their significant other. They must be divorced. Okay? They must be, you know, don't rent to these people. Let them live on the streets. When you see them on the streets, don't give them money. Don't hire these people. Don't date these people. Don't, you know, if you're a friend, friends don't let friends support Antifa. If it's a sibling, smack some fucking sense into them. How's that poem go? First they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the homosexuals, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a homosexual. Then they came for the this, and then they came for the that, and I did not speak up because I was not this or that. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak up because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and no one spoke up because there was no one left. I'm paraphrasing from memory, but you get the idea. You probably know that poem. Well, that's what the left is doing to itself, people. And they're doing it to everyone else, but, you know, they're branding everyone who is not as extreme radical as they are, who is not as intolerant and narrow-minded as they are. Right-wingers, white nationalists, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, etc. So, this is an all-consuming monster that must be stopped. It's not something whose thirst will be slaked. Their hunger will not cease. The more you give this beast, the more hungry it gets. The more ravenous it becomes. The more it consumes, the more it wants to consume. Stop the monster now. Join us. Scroll down or wait to the end of this video and click on the overlay ad if this is YouTube. Otherwise, scroll down, click the link in the description for the video, Fighting Antifa from the Comfort of Your Own Home. Help us, get involved, Let's stop this monster now. Peace for the peaceful, tough love, freedom for those who respect the freedom of others, and equality of opportunity, not of outcome. Thanks for watching.
Ah.